how this even works. All right. Let's see. How do you... I'm trying to figure out how this works. I haven't been live in such a long time. I'm not even quite sure how this works. Okay. To figure it out. There. All right. I don't want double echo. Okay. So, hi, my loves. It's been a minute. And I guess this message has been a long time coming, y'all. So, I literally took a break. Hey, how you doing, my love? I know. I'm glad you've been thinking about me. It's been a minute. I've been in kind of like figuring out how to maneuver through this energy. There's been a lot of downloads, Miss T. How have you been? How have this energy been treating you? I know I've been gone from social media for a while, but I've been paying attention to what's been going on energetically. And it's time to kind of come back out and share with you guys what I've been hearing. I've been seeing a lot of the agendas and stuff that are going on. And I wasn't sure I was even going to come back on social media, to be honest with you. I kind of was trying to figure out where my position was and how I wanted to maneuver in this energy. It's been a lot. So just a little bit of house cleaning for anyone that's going to listen to this message on replay. Everything that we spoke about 2 years ago, as far as the energy is concerned, is unfolding now. Right now, we're in multiple timelines. Right now, there's a lot of division and a lot of separation going on. And the main thing I want to say that I've been paying attention to is a lot of the mental and emotional instability that's happening, and how we're spiritually under attack, but a lot of people don't even see how that's unfolding. It's unfolding not only in the music, it's unfolding in all of the areas of churches, music, entertainment. But more so, I want to say the attack really right now is on people's mental and emotional health. And we were talking about this stuff like 2 years ago, right? So the first thing I want to say is definitely it's new energy that we are in. I miss you guys. It's been a minute. And I am going to do a reading today, right? So this is an energetic reading across the board. I'm not going to get zodiac sign specific, because let me just say right now, one of the downloads that's been coming through is astrology is going to expand. All right. So anyone that's really doing any work as far as astrology is concerned, you're not going to be able just to look at, so say for example, I'm a Scorpio, right? I'm not just going to be able to look at Scorpio. I'm going to also have to take a look at Taurus, right? So you got to deal with your masculine and feminine aspect right now. So any material that I'm going to be putting out is only going to be dealing really so much with your mental and your emotional well-being, right? Because that's what's on the attack right now. If you can get imbalanced mentally and you can get imbalanced emotionally, you're going to be controlled in this energy, okay? So first and foremost, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to this war that's going on between the men versus the women, right? So when you look at it on a big scale, that's really trying to get you to fight internally with your masculine and feminine energy, right? So when you hear me talk about masculine and feminine energy moving forward, we're only going to be talking about masculine energy, meaning your mental, okay? Because that's what's under attack. Your mental, your logical, your reasoning skills, right? And feminine being your emotional, your intuitive, your imagination, and your creativity, right? And that's really being sucked the life out of right now. So there's hypersexuality that's going on right now. There's not a lot of empathy and compassion in the world right now. People are not really kind right now in the world, right? There's not a lot of taking accountability in this energy right now. And I'm not saying taking accountability for anybody's crap. I'm saying taking accountability for your own thoughts and your own thinking, right? So any reading that I'm going to be doing right now, I am going to be looking at both energy. You can say either your shadow energy or your opposite energy, right? So you're no longer in a space where you can just focus on your sun sign. You got to look directly across of what's speaking, right? Because the energy they're in right now, as far as being a Scorpio is concerned, Taurus is also speaking to me, right? So let me give you an example. One of the things that's been going on with me personally is like stability, right? And I'm not talking so much about stability on the physical sense, because physically, like, I got to be honest with you, that was one of the reasons I haven't really been on the internet, right? I've just been in really figuring me out and finally having a stable place in my life where I'm able to do that, right? So I'm literally able to, so my day consists of getting up, maybe doing a few things in the computer for an hour or two, going to the gym, cooking, cleaning. Like I don't really have a lot of stress on a physical level, right? So I'm pretty much in a place physically where I don't have a lot of stress, okay? But what I find going on is Taurus is speaking to me more so about my mental and my emotional stability and taking accountability for where you are mentally and emotionally, all right? So there's been a lot of talk about Pluto going into Aquarius. And one of the reasons that's important is because Aquarius and Pluto's energy also represents mental and emotional energy. There's an aspect of masculine and feminine energy that's being pulled and going into play here, right? Now, when you're also looking at Aquarius, you also got to take a look at Libra, and that's balance. Okay, so the code word here is purpose as we're moving into this energy, especially stepping into 2024, right? You got to figure out what's the purpose behind what you're doing, right? You got to understand why you're doing what you're doing. And it doesn't necessarily have to make sense to everybody else. Once it makes sense to you, that's the most important thing. It needs to make sense to you. You're not always going to be able to articulate where you are energetically to everybody, because everybody is operating and jumping in and out of multiple timelines, okay? So, for example, you can start out your day on the highest vibration and then have an experience later on today that kind of kicks you back into something from the past, okay? So what we're going to take a look at is this up and coming energy as we're moving over to the new zodiac calendar, Aries season. And this is a good place for you to start because Aries represent how you want to be seen for the next 12 months. Okay. So this is the energy that you're going to be coming into, or I don't even say the energy you're going to be coming into. This is where you get to set your foundation of how you want your next 12 months to go. And that's important because there's a lot of things being projected to us right now. And if you're not aware of all of the different social agendas, if you're not aware of all of the different social projects that's going on, you can get caught up see, I said it, you can get caught up. Anxiety is the first thing that popped out here. You can get caught up in a lot of this anxiety that's happening in the world. So let me say this first and foremost. The agenda that we're having right now is so each individual does not have independent thinking. The code word right now is to get everybody in a mass conception of thought, which means that you're not really in a season where you can think independently for yourself, right? So you're going to go with somebody else's narrative, what you think somebody else thinks, instead of independently thinking for yourself, okay? So Aquarius brings in that energy of independent thinking, and Pluto then brings in that energy of transformation. But what's been projected out to us for the past 2 years is an energy where it's a lot of division and a lot of separation. And if you're not mindful of the division and the separation, is pulling you away from emotional and mental balance. All right. So I wasn't even sure how um, or what um, I was going to jump back on here and say to you guys, because to be really honest with you, I'm just kind of fed up with a lot of this. Like, for example, I was at the gym today, and there's this older lady that, we meet up in the pool at the gym, and we got into a conversation about being able to have your own independent thought. And some of you may have noticed that, throughout your life, because you thought differently or because you didn't have the same opinion as everybody else, you were deemed either the weird one, you were deemed either the loud mouth one, or you were deemed always the one that had something to say, right? Uh, it's not between now and 2030. We're going to see a lot of different things going on. It's going to be a lot of trying to get people not to think for themselves. Okay, so what's being pushed out to you right now? Hey, sister. What's being pushed out to you right now is energy of you having you not to be able to think for yourself. Okay, so like I said, any of my messages moving forward, it's all going to be about accountability, but it's also going to be about you being able to think for yourself, being an independent thinker. All right, that don't mean that and not only an independent thinker, like, tell yourself the truth, right? And I don't really care how painful it is. Like, just tell yourself the truth, right? So if you notice that you were in a situation and you had a fucked up attitude, just be honest with yourself. You know what? My attitude really stink. I might have to watch how I speak to people, or you know what? My thinking was off there. I'm gonna really have to watch how I think about it. So the things that's gonna set you free as we're moving through this energy is one, independent thinking, being able to think for yourself. All right, not allowing other people's narratives to become your narrative, which means that you want to analyze things. You want to step into that masculine part of yourself, which is your logical, your reasoning part, and you want to analyze things. Okay, not just and it's important for you not just to pay attention to little clips of what's being projected out. Get the whole entire story, and then you analyze that shit for yourself. Then you want to be able to logically do your own reasoning for yourself, and then you want to go over to your emotional part and make sure that part is balanced before you're even doing anything. You don't want to move in this energy in this season if your mind is not balanced, if your emotions is not balanced. Okay, it's very, very dangerous energy out here right now if you're not going to be mentally and emotionally balanced. Okay, there's a lot of anxious energy right now, and honestly speaking, like, we've always had energy of fear being pushed out, so that's not even newness, right? We've been talking about this from since I got off of social media, right? So I've also been paying attention to what's going on even in the tarot climate, and it's kind of like things, I haven't really seen a change. People still talking about the same thing. He cheating, they cheating, somebody's doing a spell on you. Like, for anyone that's on my channel, once I launched this channel, it was about taking your own spiritual accountability. Nobody has the power to do anything to you unless you give them that power. It was always about you being able to take accountability for your own shit. Right? It was always about you being able to take accountability for how you move or how you're not moving. Okay? So this new energy that we're in, you are no longer going to be able just to look at your sun sign or your moon sign. You got to be able to look at the shadow aspect or the opposite aspect of that. Okay? So what I want to do right now is I want to do a read an overall energy of what we need to pay attention to as we're coming up into Aries season. And like I said, we're not only going to be taking a look at Aries energy as I do this reading, we're also going to be taking a look at Libra's energy, because Aries and Libra are opposite, okay? Aries energy is your personal, what you're showing out to the world on a personal level, right? Libra energy is always about bringing in that balance. So let me just say this. Aries represents your personal power or not. Libra represents balance or not. There's always a flip side of the coin, right? So you can either step into your power or not. Okay, now with that being said, one of the ways for you to step into your power in this new energy is by you taking control of what you're thinking and you taking control of what you're feeling. So it's not just about you feeling emotional and then reacting, cursing people out. That's just not where we at. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of anxious energy as you're moving throughout this new season that we're coming into, and the goal as you're coming into this new season is for you to be able to trust, right? And I want to say this is not so much about trusting other people, but this is more about trusting yourself, okay? This is not just about you being able to trust what another person does or trust what another person says. This is about you being able to trust what you're going to do and what you say you're going to do, okay? As well as trust how you feel. Pay attention to what you're feeling in this energy, right? You don't want to do anything because it's what you call it, the mainstream way of doing things or the mainstream way of thinking. As you're stepping into your personal power within this Aries season, you need to know who you are in this energy, okay? You got the Nine of Cups right here. So whether it's this, you're going to be speaking on an aspect of your wealth, your health, family, your accomplishments. Be mindful about what you need to be doing for yourself versus of what you need to be doing for other people in this energy, okay? Ace of Swords is also coming up here, right? There's a new, and I don't even want to say new energy because it's really not new, but it's really being highlighted as we're moving throughout this new season, right? And the new highlight that's being moved through in this season is like a hive mentality, okay? And with this hive mentality, it's like clickish, right? It's very clickish. It's very clickish. So there's a group of people that look alike. And with that looks, it also comes out with you sounding alike. So pay attention to the clickish. You don't want to operate in anything too clickish. Stepping into Aries season, as well as the shadow of Aries, Libra, you want to be able to balance and think about things before you make decisions. This is not a energy where you want to be, what's that word? When you move fast. You know, like when, because you know, Aries is fire sign. So sometimes that energy can move really fast without thinking. You don't always think before you do things. You just jump into things. This is not the season for you to jump into things. You want to make sure that you're getting all of the information that you need. You want to collect all of the information that you need before you make a decision. All right. This is a place where you want to be able to create. And a lot of the creativity is being sucked out of people right now because a lot of people are not being responsible for their emotions. Your emotions represents your creativity. And if you are not balanced emotionally, you cannot create. Okay? So you want to pay attention to your emotions as well as your mental energy as we're moving throughout this year. A lot of things, as you know, they're not the same anymore. And a lot of things are going to continue to change. Okay? There's a whole bunch of social projects and social agendas that's going on, and the hint of all of these projects and these social agendas that's going on is to get you to disconnect from yourself. It's to get you to be able not to trust yourself, okay? You want to be prepared with sharing too much of your business in this season. You don't want to share too much of your business, okay? You want to be mindful of how much you share with other people. It's more important for you to pay attention to the conversations that you're having with yourself about yourself in this season. All right. It's not so much important about what other people thinks about you in this season, but it's more important as to what you think about yourself in this season. All right. Take accountability for the conversations that you're having with yourself about yourself. Okay. And I also want to say, be mindful about the conversations that you're having with yourself about other people too. All right. That's going to be important. You're going to have to trust yourself in this energy, because the only thing that's popping up in this climate, if you don't know yourself, it's going to be a lot of anxious energy. If you're not in tune with your own gut feeling, if you're not in tune with why you think the way you do, if you're not in tune with the conversations that you're having about yourself, you're going to step into a lot of anxious energy, okay? That Pluto energy brings in a lot of energy where things have been hidden from you. So some people will be experiencing an aspect. Hey, Latasha. Some people will be experiencing an aspect. I know it's been a while. It's been a while. And like I said, I wasn't even sure if I was gonna. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be coming back to. You're fine, baby. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be coming back to social media on this level because I honestly just had to figure out how I was gonna move in all of this new energy. We are constantly jumping in and out of multiple dimensions, aka thoughts, aka emotions on a daily basis. A lot is being pushed out to us, right? 2024 is going to be a year of you being able to learn how to trust and navigate through this energy, okay? There's a lot of division, a lot of separation. There's not a lot of compassion being pushed out in the world right now, at least not out in the forefront, okay? It's not a lot of compassion being pushed out in the forefront right now. There's a big sense of, I got to get you before you get me type of energy, right? I got to get you before you get me type of energy. I needed to stop and really pull back and think about what do I have to offer in this climate, right? If you, it's kind of like, and this is for everybody, you know, when you do this on replay, and I said this earlier, it's really not about what's the purpose of things. You got to find out what's the purpose of things. You got to find out why you're doing what you're doing. You got to find out what's driving you, right? And then you got to be able to bring your thoughts and your emotions into balance. Every day I turn on, I don't watch the news, but every day I get on YouTube or I look on Instagram, there's always something trying to pull you away from you. Whether it's, you know, I don't need a man energy, women ain't shit energy, you know, whether it's I'm chasing the bag, you know, I don't have to pay attention to my spiritual, whatever it is, there's always something trying to disconnect you from yourself. The big purpose of this shift with Aquarius and Pluto is to balance yourself mentally and emotionally, okay? Aquarius is representing your mental energy and Pluto is representing your emotional energy. And I don't care what anybody says. I've been saying this for years, right? Whoever controls you mentally and emotionally controls the narrative of your reality, okay? And that's important. There is going to be a lot more anxious energy coming into the forefront between now and 2030. Things that you may have not thought would ever happen is going to happen in 2030. This is why you need to be an independent thinker. If you don't get anything from what I'm saying from this message, this is really what I want you to get, okay? And I'm going to put the cards away for a while. I'm just going to share the channel messages that I've been getting, okay? Because the cards are really just validating. If you take nothing away from what I'm telling you, and I know I have not been on social media for a while, so let's just start over, okay? I have not been on social media for a while, but I have been paying attention to all of the social projects, and I've been paying attention to all of the social agendas that's going on, okay? There is a huge push for people to either be what's the word when you have too much going on in your thoughts? Overly stimulated, right? So if they can keep you overly stimulated in your mental capacity, right, where you're not able to think logically, you're not able to do your own independent thinking, they got you. If you're not able to balance your emotions and you just feel angry, so you spaz out at everybody, guess what? They got you, right? So if you get nothing at all from my message, this is what I want you to get, okay? You need to be able to think independently. Do not allow other people to think for you. Get all of the details before you make a judgment or a decision. Okay, get all of your details. Once you get your details, you then want to see where you are emotionally on the scale. That is a big push of why this energy has been trying to be distorted for 2 years now, because they knew that Pluto and Aquarius was going to come in. And I told y'all years ago that we had already shifted into the Aquarian age, right? This is just another level of it, okay? If you are not balanced in your masculine, aka your logical, your reasoning, okay, your thinking skills, if you're not balanced in your emotional skills, okay, you're going to be lost in this energy. You need to be able to think independently, and you need to be able to truly feel what you're feeling. This is not a season for you to think like, so one of the things that's being pushed right now is fuck your feelings. Get the bag. There's no need for you to pay attention to your feelings. I'm telling you, if that's the route that you're going and you're not paying attention to your feelings, and then you're not paying attention to the conversations that you're having with yourself about yourself, the conversation you're having with yourself about other people, you're going to get lost in the source. You're going to get lost in the source. Latasha, how have you been doing, my love? I don't know if any of you have been experiencing overstimulation. Like, I have been feeling like I don't necessarily know if I could be around a lot of people, right? Because I'm feeling everything. I'm feeling everything. Everything I'm feeling. I've been paying attention to also what's happening on a entertainment level with all of these different entertainers. And I'm gonna tell you something too. The names of the entertainers that you've been seeing up in the highlights, there's gonna be a lot more. That's just it's house cleaning season time. So if you've been abusing your power, this is the energy now where you're gonna be chopped down. So, and it doesn't matter. Your plate is still full. Yeah. Just know, if you are dealing with anything on a personal level where somebody has been abusing their power, whether it's a corporate front, whether it's a personal front, whether it's a political front, it doesn't matter. Anybody in this energy that's been abusing their power, they're going to get cut down. Okay? This is not the energy to do that. This is why it's important for you to think independently. Hey, Leslie, I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you. I've been sending you a lot of love and energy. I've been thinking about you. I miss you guys. I've missed you guys. I'm not going to lie. I have so much recorded content that I just have not uploaded. I just haven't felt the release to upload them. I have a lot of recorded content that I just haven't feel the need to release. I have notes. I just kind of said, you know what, let me just hit the live button tonight and see if I can reconnect with my tribe, because there's a lot of stuff coming. Spirit have been pushing me for the past couple of weeks now to get back on the internet. Okay, great. Okay. All right, I'm happy. I'm happy that you're doing better. Spirit has been pushing me to get back on the internet, but I've been asking Spirit, okay, where do I even begin? Because the message, it I have been working on me. I have been working on my mental, my emotional health, as well as my physical body. Because y'all know I used to be hunched over, but now my back is up straight. My right shoulder has settled, but my left shoulder has not settled. And before I went off the air, I had surgery, and then I lost so much blood at one point that I needed to have like two bags of blood, like I think like a blood transfusion. So I've been rebuilding myself from since then. I don't even know where to begin, y'all. Leslie, how have you been doing in this energy outside of, because I know you was going through some things the last time we spoke. How have you been dealing with this energy? I should have brought my notes here with me. And I started to record live and just released it, but Spirit was like, make it public. I should have brought my notes with me. As a matter of fact, hold on, let me get my notes. Let me get my notes, y'all. Because I wrote all of this stuff down. I did write all of this stuff down. Okay. All right. I think I kind of told y'all a lot about. Oh, okay. So another thing that I didn't talk about a lot, but okay. So you're ready to enter new. And if I'm not mistaken, Leslie, I think you're a Capricorn too. So you're gonna feel that transition. Latasha, really? All right. So, Latasha, I'm gonna tell you something in a second. But Leslie, you you are, yeah, okay. So you're gonna feel. So let me just say who's gonna feel this transition the most. Okay. So this Pluto Aquarius transition. You're gonna have Scorpio and Taurus are gonna feel the transition, and then you're gonna have Aquarius and Libra that's gonna feel the transition the strongest. Okay, and so you might want to pay attention to where you have those placements in your chart. Now, y'all know I've been telling y'all for years. Okay, it's not just about knowing your sun sign. Okay, you are responsible for mastering all 12 aspects of the zodiac sign because they're aspects of you. Okay, so you're not just, and I'm not saying that you need to know everything, but you need to have some type of understanding of how that archetype works. So maybe because every 2.5 days, emotions change. Every 2.5 days, we're stepping into a different energy, emotional energy, because the moon energy shifts every 2.5 days. Okay, so you need to know sometimes you are experiencing something today, and 2 days later you somewhere else, like you're not even in the same place anymore, right? So let me just tell you something, Leslie. So you're gonna feel this transition a lot, right? So Capricorns, and who's Capricorn's opposite? Cancer. Capricorns and Cancer are gonna feel this transition also, because remember, Pluto has been, over there with you for years. Okay, I think maybe 20, was it at least 18 plus years. Okay, so you're gonna definitely feel it when Pluto actually gets settled in Aquarius. Okay, now, which brings me to something that I really need to get out. Okay, so your bioelectricity and your magnetic energy is going to come into play. This is exactly why they want you not to. This is exactly why they want you to be at war with yourself. Okay, you are you are electrical magnetic being. Okay, so the masculine energy of yourself is the electric part of yourself, and the feminine aspect of yourself is your magnetic part of yourself, which means that you're always sparking, pushing out energy and pulling in energy. A lot of that is coming into play, especially as we flopped over into Pluto on Aquarius. Aquarius energy brings in a lot of technology, right? So one of the things that you need to pay attention to is that your mental aspect is always sending out little pulses. Your feminine aspect is always pulling in little pulses. Okay, so if I can tell you where to send your pulses and where to pull from, right, then I can tell you how to maneuver through your life without you independently thinking. So this is why it's important for you in this energy to be an independent thinker. Just don't go with what the masses are saying. Just don't go with what's popular. Okay? Okay, this is the best way for me to put it to you. Now, I think all people are beautiful. And I don't and within that, I mean, some beautiful people do fucked up shit. They do. right? But for the past 2 years, I've really been sitting and paying attention to people, right? People are off because they're not balanced mentally and they're not balanced emotionally. Everybody have the component within themselves to be a fucked up person or a kind person, a loving person or a non-loving person. We all have those aspects within ourselves, right? Now let me show you how a culture or a clone society is being pushed out to people and they're not even aware of that. Okay, so I'm gonna give you one example. Okay, I think women at a whole have always been on the attack for a while, but I think also men as a whole have also been on the attack for a while, right? You're going to start to see this cloning culture. And one of the cloning cultures that you're going to see, and you're starting to see it now, there's a particular group of women that look the same and sound the same. Okay, and just so if you're hearing what I'm saying spiritually, I really want you to get it. Okay, be an independent thinker. Okay, there is a group of women right now, and so have any of you watched They Clone Tyrone? I don't know if any of you have watched They Clone Tyrone, but I want you to get what I'm saying here, right? There is a group of women right now, right, that look the same and are also carrying that same vibration and frequency. Now, when I sat and Spirit was showing this to me, right, you got to be very careful, right? This is the time for you to be organic about yourself. I'm not saying that you can't have a beautiful body. I'm not saying that you can't have a beautiful shape. I'm not saying that what's going to separate you from, yeah. So now, do you notice in that movie, sister? Do you notice in that movie that the only group of women that, or the only group that didn't get cloned was the hoes, or the women they felt didn't have any power? So they cloned pretty much everybody else in that movie, but they didn't clone the hoes. That and they told you how you're being controlled. You're being controlled through food. You're being controlled through music. You're being controlled through politics, right? You're being controlled through indoctrination, religion. So the point I'm trying to make here is, hey, Ashley, the point I'm trying to make here is this, okay? And I'm trying to see if any of you in the community is going to get the type of women that I'm talking about, right? And this is not me bashing anybody. This is me trying to get you to think independently, okay? If there's a hive mentality that's being pushed out to us right now. Okay, you have it, but you get everyone looks the same, sound the same, and I'm telling you, right? So it's important for you to be able to be you in this season. Be you in this season, okay? Think differently in this season. It is not the time for you to gallivant with the masses. Do not have a mass mentality of thinking. I'm telling you, this is not the time to do that. Get all of the information for yourself, and you want to be able to think independently in this season. Your biomagnetic and electrical field is on point right now, which means whatever electrical pulses you're sending out with your masculine energy, aka your thinking, your thoughts, your logic, your reasoning, right? Magnetically, it's going to be speaking to your feminine aspect, which is your emotions, your creativity, your imagination. So let me give you another example, okay? Right now, even in the music sector, we do know that sound controls things, right? So any sound is a vibration, sound control things. Even if you look at music right now and who's being highlighted in music right now, right? Music right now is highly sexualized. And I've been telling you guys for years, sexual energy is creative energy. Right? I've always said that on the platform. Sexual energy is creative energy. So look and pay attention to where a lot of this sexual energy is being directed. Listen, there's so much clues out here, y'all. There's so much clues out here right now as to the energy that we're in and as to how you can navigate through this, okay? You're going to have to ground yourself in this energy, and grounding yourself means it's not enough to meditate anymore, right? Grounding yourself is also going to require you being aware, even when you're not meditating, of what's going on around you. Being aware, even to the littlest conversation that you have with the person at the gas station. Being aware, like I had a conversation with my son a couple of months ago, and this may have been sometime last year, and this was probably last summer. And last summer we went into, I think it was like JJ's Fish, and I said to him, this young lady walked in, because I have boys, so I have to school my boys, right? This young lady walks in, beautiful young lady, right? But half of her ass was hanging out of her pants. So I said to my son, I said, that young lady's beautiful. I said, but I'm gonna give you a tip that you're gonna need as you get older. I said, if you're going to date a woman like that, you need to understand that she requires a lot of attention. And the type of attention that she requires may not be enough for you to give to her. So you need to be mindful of that. Be mindful, because once again, that energy is out here. Be mindful of who you are dating. Because who you are dating is going to require where your mind and your emotion goes. So he came home. That was like, let's say that was towards the end of the summer. So they started school in August. He came home about a month later, and he says to me, Mom, you know, there was this young lady in school, and she was wearing XYZ. And I said, thank you. How are you? Light within darkness. I know I've been missing you guys too. So he says to me, Mom, I don't understand why she has to come to school with pretty much showing her, her breasts and all of this stuff. I'm not understanding, Mom, why she have to come to school dressed like that. And he says, Mom, it's like all she's looking for is for attention, but that's not necessary. We in high school. Why you need all of that attention in high school? So for those of you that have kids, that have daughters, that have sons, please start to show your kids the trick of what's going on around this place right now, right? The hypersexualized energy is for a reason. It pulls away their creativity, all right? That energy about you too masculine as a woman, what that does is, one, it lets you know that you may need to bring some aspect of you in balance. But two, it lets you know that you're going to have to start to think independently and then balance your emotions when you're responding to things, right? Sometimes men don't operate enough in their feminine energy. Sometimes women operate more in their masculine energy, but it's going to be about you finding the balance within yourself. Because if you're not finding the balance within yourself, it's going to be dictated to you. All right. So we've now entered the metaverse, which means that your electricity, your electrical charge, your bio electrical and magnetic energy is for sale. Okay. What that means, your thoughts is for sale. Okay. I remember Lauryn Hill, this was maybe almost 20 years ago. She had that album Misunderstood. And she talks about it in one of these songs. I can't remember the name of the song, but she talks about how we were coming to a place where people were going to be people were going to be in a position. Uh, I don't know if y'all can still see me. Ah.